Tonight, loud voices opposing Monumental Sports. The proposal to build a $2 billion sports and entertainment district at Potomac Yard seemed exciting at first for labor unions. But this week, leaders are choosing to stay out of the conversation for now.
Here in Alexandria, there is a consensus that workers need to be treated with respect. And unfortunately, the folks making the decision, the folks with the money, have decided that they don't care about that.
The project to move the Washington Capitals and Wizards to Alexandria promises 30,000 jobs in Virginia. But opponents argue that estimate is overly optimistic. Labor unions say they cannot support the plan after back-and-forth negotiations, fearing they're not good-paying jobs.
This should not be a situation where they create low-paying jobs that cheat the community. So the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer.
The Northern Virginia Labor Federation claims the powers that be are saying no to agreements that would require better pay with benefits, hiring locally from disadvantaged communities, and having minority-owned contractors and small businesses participate. Another would require any hotels moving into the privately owned land to allow workers to unionize.
The consensus has just been that without the entitlement, the design, the operator, it's too early to enter into an agreement. No one has said no before they chose to walk away.
The chief strategy officer for developer JBG Smith argues they can't sign an agreement on land they don't own. He also says the company has a good track record in terms of jobs and protecting against wage thefts, which is why they say they're surprised by the labor union stance.
We're disappointed they've chosen to walk away and put the project and lots of jobs for Northern Virginians at risk as part of that move.
I do think people are looking at what's going on. However, they're looking at the engagement that has been going on through the last few weeks, and we think we've been operating in good faith.
But for now, union leaders say with taxpayers helping fund the massive project, if approved, workers aren't being considered enough.
This is the time that these things need to be negotiated.
Monumental Sports and JBG Smith say they remain optimistic and interested that everyone will come back together for a discussion. One union leader tells me that if the agreements they introduced weeks ago are back on the table, they'll engage again. That's the latest here in Alexandria. I'm Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
More miles to go in this journey, so perhaps they will come back together again. Matthew, thank you. As that rally was happening at Potomac Yard, opponents were also in Richmond lobbying lawmakers to block the arena funding bill. The coalition to stop the Potomac Yard Arena met with the loudest voice against the arena plan. State Senator Louise Lucas of Portsmouth yesterday. A cake they gave her reads, "Senator Lucas chomped the Glen Dome." They are referring to Governor Glenn Youngkin. The group continued their lobbying efforts today, but admitted despite all of the protests and the letter writing and the op-eds they've done, this still remains very much a David versus Goliath battle.
And I say David versus Goliath because, across the country, when billionaire sports owners and the leagues behind them decide to put their resources to work lobbying for money at the public trough for their stadiums, they tend to win. And so the record in opposing these is not great. But I think that this time could be different.
In a statement released an hour ago, Monumental told us support for the arena project continues to grow as residents and legislators and small business owners and other stakeholders learn more about its features and its benefits.